various major glitches that would not be allowed in no glitches logic, which means there are going to be a lot of Sphere 1, a lot of checks that are considered Sphere 1 because of various overworld glitches that we could do, like boots clips, death mounted ascent, stuff like that. We'll cover these as the show goes on.
That's right, and with these glitches, we'll be seeing some interesting routing. But aside from the glitch allowance, we are playing effectively open 7-7 with boots start. Correct, Professor?
Yes. The reason why we have boots on our feet is just so that we can actually use the major glitches. There are a lot of major glitches that require the use of the boots.
But unlike when we were doing the non-playoff rounds back at the end of the year last year, we don't start with a sword.
Yeah, during the groups we were given a sword, but now as we are nearing the end of the tournament, we are going without. We're going with randomized swords, so we will be starting without a sword. We're underway now, and krelbel is obviously running the sprite shuffler, and Schulzer is using, I believe it's called Drake the Dragon.
Yep, that is a sprite shuffle.
Yep, another one of krelbel's inventions that he has made.
Krelbel really likes to mess things up, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be, and I'm also, I don't think we got feeds here, but over here, we have audio here in the feed, but I would imagine that krelbel is also using the MSU shuffle that he made, and along with the live version of it. So what krelbel is going to do is he's actually going to hobo. He's actually doing the quicker version. He did what's called a boots clip, where you actually use the boots and use the boots to get into diagonal walls. It's the very first thing you learn when it comes to glitches, and we also do stuff like teleports with it. We can use it to do teleports, boots clips, or dumb jumps, stuff like that. We'll talk about them as we get on the show.
Yeah. If you weren't aware from watching this tournament, diagonal walls and most other walls, from what I can tell, are merely suggestions. And we're about to see... I imagine we're about to see some Death Mountain ascents here soon.
Yeah, this is one of the various... There are a lot of openings in Overworld Glitches. Some people, like myself, like to go directly to Sahasrara while getting the... we'll take a look at the Pyramid Fairy. Ooh, it's a mushroom. That could be a problem. Could be a problem. Get a bow out of the secret drop down and the thieves drop down.
I know that a lot of people like the Death Mountain start because you can clip down to Graveyard Ledge for guaranteed bombs as well. But we do have some bombs found, so that does give us access to a standard Kakariko visit.
Yeah, and as always, you could always just bonk the. You can always use the bonk rocks that's right next to the North fortune teller over just above Kakariko to get free bombs that way, which is exactly what krelbel is going to do now. This was something that was a pretty apparent when it came to stuff like from the Speed Gaming Live tournament, where you could get free bombs from there.
If I'm looking at this sprite shuffle correctly, the standard face we're seeing for krelbel when he's just walking around is Link's face when he's pulling on something.
I think specifically when he's doing the tree pulse, the spin for the tree pull. I would know because I've made a sprite. I have made a sprite myself. Also, we did find some gloves in Blind's hut. We also have a shovel in the well.
Fetch quest showing up early.
It's a nice one. Because we can actually route in the shovel pretty effectively through boots clips.
Yeah, routing in through, going through desert, up, hitting Agina's cave, going through Cave 45, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you'll see that when we actually get to that. And this will probably come up pretty soon because Schulzer will be leaving Kakariko first.
But first we buy some bombs, because you always want to have bombs. Hookshots are nice.
Yeah, so that's nice. We will be able to, once we have Dark World access, we have access to Hookshot Cave through the normal routes. All you really need for Dark World access is just a Moon Pearl, and this is true for glitch modes in general. We have a sword on the library.
That's a nice advantage to having start boots, is you can get that and not have to remember it.
And there's 3 bombs on the race game. Now Schulzer is not going to pick them up, obviously, but if it was something else, like something important, there is another way there is another boost, other teleport that you can do to get to the race game. Basically, what a teleport is, as soon as you get into, you have to look at the shadow of whatever sprite you're using, and determine whether you want an up teleport or a down teleport. There are certain setups for it that only work if you're on a specific bump, as we call it. Typically, you'll see like down teleports on the 3rd bump, but in this case, with the 1st bump, we're going to be doing an up teleport to get over to Desert Palace easily.
And we do have a map check. We have a red crystal on Desert Palace, a crystal in Hera, and the green pendant, I think, in Eastern. Now, those red crystals are really only worth mentioning in case the mirror is in Pyramid Fairy.
Yes, because if we did find a mirror, we can do what's called a Pyramid Fairy mirror offset, and we can get into Pyramid Fairy without needing to buy the bomb, the big bomb.
You wish you could do that in no glitch logic, just because it saved time.
Yeah, but it's considered a major glitch, so it doesn't qualify for the no glitches. So here, what we're going to see is a spin speed clip. What Schulzer is going to do is try to get spin speed, and by getting spin speed and going into certain diagonal walls, we can get through. We can actually we can hop on top of rocks and stuff.
Yeah, we thought diagonal walls were easy to get through before. Now it's like they're not even there sometimes.
Yes, and to add a little bit further to what we were talking about before when it came to boots clips. So here we're going to see Schulzer do a down teleport. This is on the 3rd bump from the bottom. This is the most important thing. It's usually when we're talking about bumps, we're talking about the little bumpy shapes of the wall. We start from the 1st bump down. That's the 1st bump that's below the particular diagonal wall that we want to do, and then if it's the 3rd bump, usually you'll see things like 3rd bump down teleports, where what you're looking for those down teleports is you're looking at the shadow of Link Shadow and seeing if the pixel, like the far left or right of the shadow, is flush with the the shadow of the bump that you're trying to look on, and then you have to do a buffer. Then you have to buffer your inputs. Typically, it's either done but through a spin speed or a spin teleport or a punch teleport, or a spin buffer or a sword buffer or a punch buffer, or some other simple thing.
All right, we did get blue mail out of Checkerboard Cave. And Schulzer is giving us a check into the back of Escape.
It's reasonable. You have their glove already. You may as well check the back of Escape. Nothing really to report on, but we did find another heart. So that's more hearts for Schulzer.
You know, having the extra hearts is never a bad thing. Unless you're trying to Death Warp. Then it's a bad thing. Just some money, which, with a potential for Zora, it's good to find that money.
Okay, so Schulzer is going to do what we call Death Mountain Ascent. This will let us get onto Death Mountain without the need for gloves. And what Schulzer is specifically going to do is what we call New DMA. Didn't quite get it, but there is a recovery setup which Schulzer does get.
And that gets you into Old Man Cave.
There's a different method from krelbel, which uses boots clips to do what we call a dumb jump, which means once we do enough of a boots clip, we'll jump off. We'll actually jump. As if we did a quick hop.
I do love that the dragon sprite turns purple with blue mail.
Looks like Mario the dinosaur.
And now we're just going to walk through that wall and go up to Hera. You know, ordinary routing.
Yeah, and this is what we call Hera clip. This is basically the same thing that we talked about earlier with spin speed. There's also two other methods to doing it. Either we either got spin speed or poke speed in this case for Schulzer, or krelbel, or what I can imagine krelbel is going to do. Yeah, this is going to be the. Oh no, never mind. He's going to do Graveyard Ledge clip. So we're now on top of Graveyard Ledge, and this is another spin speed clip. This one's kind of a little complicated because you have to hold, I believe, down left in order all the way through until you actually land on the ground, and then I think it's just you let go of left. And after you get into once you're through Graveyard Ledge, it lines up perfectly for Houlihan because it actually causes the error in Link's Y coordinate, which is necessary to get into Houlihan room. 225 rupees, as per usual.
And that gives krelbel potential for Zora money if it becomes necessary. Or, if you don't need to Zora, it gives you money for literally everything else you could possibly want to buy.
Yep. Schulzer is now on what we call the Land Bridge, which is basically a path a little path which takes us from the left side of the mountain all the way over to the right side of the mountain. Lets us do E-step mountain checks a lot quicker without need for hammer or hookshot.
I know we got some interesting route divergence. We got one player doing Floodgate and South Shore, and we've got one doing Eastern Death Mountain. That's a book, and that's a cape.
Medora. Okay, those are interesting. These are interesting pickups. Spiral Cave having the cape, and the Floodgate having book.
That sprite shuffler is disturbing sometimes.
Yeah, I know krelbel is a really, really ingenious person. He has done a lot for this community. He's done this.
That's a moon
and
pearl.
There's our moon pearl, by the way. Yep,
that's nice, Rod.
For like kindred spirits here, for like calling things out as right next to each other.
So the ice rod's a pretty good find here, actually, because we don't know if we need it for Turtle Rock, and it can, again, like usual, it can be anywhere, and there's more anywhere it can be in a glitch seed.
And as I previously stated before, all we really need for Dark World access is just that Moon Pearl, because we have ways to get into the Dark World. And we'll be seeing them pretty soon. I believe Schulzer is attempting, or no, he's going to do South Shore. What I was thinking Schulzer might do is he could boots clip onto that little part of the little rock formation that cuts off between the South Shore and where the hammer spots is for the Hype Cave portal. I could do that, grab it, and then he can actually use a bomb clip to get into to get out of where he was. Speaking of stuff with bombs in it, with the word bomb in it, there's bombos.
Yeah, bombos is always useful, actually, because if you need to do ice palace for any reason whatsoever, it's better than fire rod, in my opinion.
Okay, so krelbel is heading over to. It's going to head over to King Zura. It's going to see what he picks up. It's going to drop for us a heart piece, just a little piece of love, of which krelbel is going to oblige to pick up. And I believe now should be the good time for krelbel to head up to the mountain. Or no, he's already on the mountain, right? So I guess what he's going to do next is...
He just got a bottle from Mini Moldrum Cave, so I believe this is actually going to be our sick kid check.
Yes, this is the sick kid. I don't know if that's if the bee that was picked up was a good bee, because if so, krelbel could obviously turn it in to get 100 rupees from the bottle vendor.
If people didn't know that, that's a very useful way to get a little bit of cash.
It is a good goal. Okay, so we get a free 100 rupees from the bottle vendor.
You got to move to the left here.
That is if it doesn't. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it will prioritize going onto the weather vane, so you actually do have to walk to the... And we bought... Okay, we used it to buy the bottle vendor.
Yeah, which is fair, because it gives you a free 100 rupees. It gives you a free 100 rupees. You could basically get what's on the bottle vendor for free.
The bee prioritizes that weather vane, so you just have to walk to the left a bit to make it prioritize the bottle vendor.
Yeah, and that's pretty bad.
So krelbel's now on the mountain, and we'll probably be doing a Hera clip here.
By the way, get used to seeing Tower Hera a lot. This is by far the fastest way to get to the top of the mountain, just by doing the Hera clip.
So we know that Tower of Hera is a crystal, and we have a big key for free. And it's not even that big of a time loss, because we do have a hookshot, so we can just go up the tower through this pot here.
Yep, we're gonna do some Hera pot. We're gonna do a Hera pot here. It's funny because actually
same old Hera pot we are used to from Open, from Glitchless.
Yep, and this is the spin speed method, which I actually got. Like I wasn't even trying to go. I was going for it mostly just to have a bit of fun, but I actually somehow managed to get it. It's pretty complicated. Well, not complicated. It's just finicky. because of spin speed.
As you can see by the little bit of trouble krelbel has, because you have to be able to move just right to clip yourself into that pot slightly, so you can hook shot to that hole. What krelbel does not want to see here is a small key. Why do I say these things? Schulzer is going to read us a tablet. And it's a bottle.
With a green potion in it.
And Schulzer is going to give us our first visit to the Dark World.
And through here, we can actually do what's called a Dev Mountain descent. This is actually a way that we can get into the Dark World proper without needing the typical Dark World access that we would normally see in the no glitches setup.
What
so
a good fighter sword molder.
Yeah, that was a really good fight for the first blood, and we have an item on Hera Basement, which is not a good sign.
Yeah. The one thing about that clip down the mountain is you still keep the Death Mountain color palette, which explains why everything looks completely wrong right now.
Yeah, and it also carries through into Skull Woods a bit. And it won't be until you actually enter a room, until you actually enter either a cave or an entry, like a door or a house or a dungeon or like Skull Woods.
We have to switch to the underworld in some fashion.
Yeah, to change the color palette to the actual proper one.
Always good to find an early item in the front of Skull Woods, because it means that there's less chance of you needing to go back in there. Unfortunately, with no big key, we can't get the big chests while we're here. So we'll have to go visit the center. At a later date.
Yeah, so Schulzer is actually leaving the center entrance.
I don't blame him. It's with current setup, you have to dodge the Gibdos, and it's a time commitment for one check.
Now, what I would do is I would just stun them first. Firstly, I would just stun them. We have a red boomerang. We can at least stun the Gibdos to give us a bit of time without them just being on us. But then again, like you said, it is a time commitment. So to leave the middle is perfectly understandable.
The other big thing is it's a 3-to-1 chance of being nothing.
That's also true. There's only 2 items in Skull Woods.
And we already found a 20 in Spike Room. Not Spike Room. That was map chest, I think. But we found a 20, so it wasn't going to be anything useful, more than likely.
Right. We're now in Thieves Town.
Our tracker and Restreamer Amarith has corrected me that that map chest is one to the right, and the 20 was in the compass chest. Easy to mix up, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm not really good with room names myself, so. Alright, so krelbel is going to do what I was talking about before, and that is we're actually on top of where normally you would be locked behind the where if you weren't down you would be locked behind the hammer, like the hammer pegs. Well, what krelbel's going to do is he's going to set up he's gonna set up at a specific pixel and try not to get bullied by this the bomb shit throwing person.
That
And-
would be... Yeah, Zero's hurt, for one.
And basically what we just saw was that it was a bomb clip, and we actually got ourselves into and over where the hammer pixel was. So we actually are checking out Hive Cave now.
And we get a Master Sword for our trouble. Master Sword
Along
does
with Blue
redeem...
Boomerang.
Master Sword does redeem the otherwise disappointing Hype Cave.
Yeah, this is a pretty good hype. A pretty okay-ish Hype Cave. Sword is nice, but I won't really go as for too long. Map check. Now we have our other 5/6 crystal on Swamp, and then the pendants are on the top left and right.
Yeah, Turtle
And
Rock and
Skullwoods these
Skullwoods.
trucks. Yep.
So,
Here's another clip.
don't you just walk across the top of the walls usually?
No, but it's a really nice shortcut. Like knowing the best thing about Overworld Glitches is that once you know your shortcuts, it's very handy. We get a Temperate Sword to follow it up from the Stumpy.
And now we're going to the Mire area.
Now, what you're gonna see in just a bit, the rain is not gonna look right, just because we loaded in. We were in the Mire area in a way it was not intended to be. You can either fix this by mirroring and mirroring out, entering the entrance, or checking your map.
I did not see what that medallion access was, so I'm going to be paying attention to the restream, to Twitch side of it, so I can try again with the delay. That was a Bombos medallion.
And we can enter it. Enter it, but not clear it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do the entering phase here, mostly because we don't have the cane, and so it wouldn't be clearable. And with it not being clearable, there's still a chance of not being able to get both items.
Yeah, that's reasonable. If I was running this, I'd go in mostly because it's 2 items. If you can find the 2 items, then it saves you a bit of time. Of course, yes, and the double dip is actually is not awful.
It's
is
better
not
than
awful at all.
double dipping, like Ice Palace, for example.
Yes, it is a better double dip compared to Ice Palace or I don't know, Turtle Rock.
It's still a pretty big time commitment to do so, and they just high-fived on their way past, of course. They're sports. These are sportsmen.
Oh,
And-
are we seeing a world wrap? Oh no, I take that back. This is Krelbel going up to Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, Krelbel's going up, in this case.
We're doing an up teleport in this case. So we're actually now in Village of Outcasts without the need of the mitts.
The mitts are not important in this kind of seed. How much do the mitts unlock?
The only thing that the mitts unlock is Smith Chain. That's it. And it goes to show how powerful Overworld Glitches are. Like, how insanely good Overworld Glitches is. Like, how, when it comes in context to a no glitches scene, it breaks logics. It obviously breaks logic in no glitches.
It
And
breaks
it's
sanity sometimes, too.
Yeah. And that's why we have a whole dedicated glitch. We have a whole dedicated logic for this, and everything's Sphere 1. Like a good chunk of things to do in Sphere 1 is more than it is with no glitches.
Well, think about with spheres, Death Mountain in its entirety is Sphere 1. Or Light Death Mountain, I should say, is pretty much all Sphere 1, isn't it? We also have access to Desert in Sphere 1. Fake Flipper is in Logic, so the Flipper checks can be in Sphere 1. And if I remember what I've learned from this, there's a handful of Dark World in Logic as well.
That is true. There is a lot in Logic once you're in the Dark World. There is quite a number of things, and then a lot of times, the things that you can, a lot of and there's only a handful of things that you really need. Like we mentioned, there's just gloves is. At least a glove is just what you need, and enough as in our case we would need the hammer for pod. But you could have I believe it's possible that you could have a hammerless seed.
That would depend on dungeons, because you would need to have, I believe you would need to have ice, pod, and swamp all be pendants to have a hammerless seed, and GT Big Key not left side.
Yes, that's it. I was going to point that out too. Yeah, it is entirely possible that but it is possible. I think I've had a seed where it actually does. I think I had a seed that was exactly just that, a hammerless seed. I don't remember though. But
and Tempered Sword makes Moldorm so much easier.
Yes, just a spin and a slash, and you're good to go.
So, we get to talk a lot about the overworld. The dungeons are really boring in comparison, outside of occasional ones like Turtle Rock, because logic in these dungeons is pretty much the same as in non-glitch. With the exception of Turtle Rock logic.
Yeah, Turtle Rock logic is a little different, and how I was told is that it's kind of like entrance, but at the same time it isn't.
The bigger one is it's similar to inverted in logic comparisons.
Yeah, it's kind of like inverted. And again, we have actually a lot of ways to get into Turtle Rock. Of course, we're not going to see it at the moment because we have no cane. We do have a fire source in the lamp.
And a hammer. So that just opened up a lot of the main part of the Dark World for much easier times, because we can now clear 2 of those dungeons I mentioned earlier. We still need flippers for Swamp, but we can clear Pod and Ice, and with both of them being crystals, that's going to be an important thing here.
Looks like Schulzer wants to head over to Catfish.
I love Dante's comment here that there's a racer in the chat room right now. If we did forget to mention as commentators, this is a vodcast. This race has already happened.
Yeah, that's why we see Krelbel in the chat. This race has happened. We're just here to talk about this, and for the sake of actually documenting the tournament.
It's the bronze match. We need to document this.
Oh yeah, of course. Schulzer is going to do. I believe this is a clip to get over to. Yeah, this is the clip to get over to Pod. Which makes sense. You have a hammer. You may as well go into. You may as well do this now because it's fully clearable.
Yeah, this is a play I agree with, because we just got that hammer, and with the hammer being our most recent progression, coming to Pod makes sense a lot. I'm trying to remember where Bombos was that Krelbel got it and Schulzer has not. Also, as Krelbel mentions, we also got the lamp in Hookshot Cave. This is even better play.
Yeah, I pointed it out too. I think my hunch is that I think we got it out of, I believe, Waterfall Fairy?
Waterfall Fairy, yes. And I'm not sure why Schulzer doesn't have it in our thing. I will pay attention a little bit on that.
I think the reason is because krelbel had done South Shore completely, and followed it up with into the Zor area, and Schulzer has not went to the Zor area just yet.
Alright, having watched the replay from the Twitch stream, Schulzer does have Bombos, so...
Okay, so I'm guessing Schulzer did end up going to Waterfall Fairy.
Yeah, I knew Schulzer did Hobo, and I know he did Zor. I just never saw him do the Waterfall Fairy myself. Because I think Krelbel was showing something off at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta love it when the Ice Rod is the closest ranged item to hit that switch with.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice position in your menu too. I believe so. No, yeah, it's a nice position in your menu, so it works out.
We are not blaming you, Amarith. This is a nightmare to keep up with sometimes.
Yeah, tracking is no easy feat. I've done it before, and
tracking glitchless is a hard feat. Let's throw glitches in.
Yeah, it's a different beast in itself. We're seeing Sahasrara here, from krelbel. Nothing to report
Schulzer
on.
brings down Helm's Arcane.
So that is a third crystal for Schulzer, and very quick one in that. We have 3 crystals, and it's not even just 40 minutes.
I mean, Schulzer is going to be diving back into pod here, because Schulzer went straight down right side, but... So the entire back of the dungeon still has items in it.
Perfectly reasonable. krelbel was going to head over to Green Pennant Eastern, normal Eastern. No, seriously, this is literally vanilla. This dungeon price.
It is, yeah. And Schulzer does have to drop down here to get a small key.
And this is normally where you get the boots, too, in the vanilla game.
Yeah, you get the boots with the green pendant turn-in, I believe.
Yes, that is true.
It's been a hot minute since I've done a vanilla, so...
It's funny, because I haven't done a no major glitches run, any no major glitches runs myself. I gotta start doing that, like, sometime, I guess, during the summer.
The one thing that having to drop down on that key is we know, because we have a boss key and an item from the arena, that means the vanilla big key chest is guaranteed to be a small key. Not quite as much glitches to talk about here, because we get to watch the dungeons go on. And while we are allowed to glitch through the overworld, dungeons, we're back to no major glitch territory. We just got Titansmiths.
Ugh. And this is not what you really want to see in Overworld Glitches.
At the moment, I actually think the Titansmiths are a useful find, because we don't have flippers or mirror to get into Ice Palace in or out of Logic without those mitts.
Yeah, but I see that as also a double-edged sword. Yeah, well, it's nice. You're dealing with mirrorless Smith chain, and that's usually a pain in the neck to deal with.
That hammer... I think Schulzer lost the Tower of Hair entrance for a second. But that hammer, with the items we have left side Ganon's tower access.
Yeah, generally the rule of thumb when it comes to GT is that once you find an item that lets you do pretty much almost all of GT, you will go into it, no questions asked.
The one cat, we don't have right side access, which is concerning when you do that, but it is still a case of there's anywhere from 16, 17 items in the basement, plus if you find a big key, you can get the big chest in the upstairs and get Agatu out of the way. Because we are required to kill Agatu here.
Yeah, regardless, this is still to defeat Ganon. So that means we will have to kill Agatu no matter what.
I'd like to point out, that was a very heads-up play from Schulzer. He was going to Spike Cave check, and so he picked up that green potion off of Ether Tablet so he could get back out and go back up the mountain. So that was an extremely heads-up play by Schulzer for that.
By the way, we're in GT, we get Quake out of Hope Room. Not like it's going to be used for anything, because we know about we already have access to Mire.
And we can just clip into GT, or clip into Turtle Rock, and there's our flippers!
So we can go into Ice Palace.
I can do you one better. Provided Big Key is found in this trip, that could actually be... That is Kane Go mode for Schulzer.
And Fire Rod Go mode. Because you need Fire Rod and Kane for Go mode.
Do we need Fire Rod?
Skull Woods and Turtle Rock.
Skull Woods...
Or wait.
I thought
that's not...
Skull Woods and Turtle Rock are pendants.
Yeah, they're pendants. Oh right, yeah. Swamp is the other is 5/6.
So that means we are a Kane from Go mode right now on Schulzer's screen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And that just confirmed we are a Kane from Go mode. Granted, I believe Schulzer does know the bomb jumps to get into Compass Room without the Fire Rod, but that means you don't have to do that. In this case, Amarith, yes, there was a mistracking. You've got 3 red crystals marked. And Krelbel will be doing a descent to Catfish and probably clip down to Palace of Darkness as well.
That's reasonable.
That hammer and lamp are a pretty good sign. Just go to Turtle Rock or go to Palace of Darkness. And this is a nice kill on Armos we're seeing here.
Very nice.
Ooh, I am wrong. We are actually 2 items from Go Mode. We can't get into Swamp Palace yet. We very definitely need the magic mirror to do that. That said, we do have access to all of our other crystal dungeons, so we will probably be seeing some dungeon dives by Schulzer before doing more Overworld. And similarly to... Oh, that was Mimics 1, never mind. I was going to say, similarly to Schulzer, I thought Krelbel was going to the back first, but we'll have to see that in a minute. And Schulzer is setting up for Ice Palace Bomb Jump because we don't have a cane to go through this dungeon the easy way. And a beautiful bomb jump from Schulzer to get into the back of Ice Palace. You're right, Amarith. You can't just cheat through everything in OWG. That's what no logic's for. And nice bomb jump to get over the gap, which sends us straight into right side of Ice Palace. I will say, I think this is my first time doing commentary for glitches where I've seen Ice Palace entered the normal way. Normally, we've had to see them glitch in.
Yeah, there's 2 different ways to do that. One of them, like both of those methods to glitch into Ice Palace are super risky. You run the risk of hard locking.
Yeah. And when you just have access to the rest of the... When you can access it normal way, that is one check where it's actually safer to just go the intended direction. The mirror one is the one that's easier, but isn't the mirror one also the one that's not in logic? I have not been counting items. How many items do we have left in the Ice Palace? Does anyone know? Right, there's a 20 rupee. There is at most one item left here, I believe. So, yeah, we are seeing the Ice Palace big chest checked here, so I believe there has to be one more item, and it is our fire rod.
Oh no, that's not a good place for it.
I mean, of course, fire rod's an Ice Palace. Why wouldn't it be an Ice Palace? That said, the fire rod does make this fight with Coldstare easier, slightly. As shown by Schulzer melting Coldstare with one spin and a pile of fire rod shots. Yeah, I fire rod and Ice Palace. That's kind of a classic.
Yeah, this is just not a good place for that fire rod. It's pretty bad.
At the moment, though Schulzer doesn't know it, the fire rod doesn't put anything in logic yet. Because we know the second item for Skullwoods is accessible without the fire rod because krelbel got out of the big chest with the vanilla big key there. And the fire rod lock checks in Turtle Rock require the red cane. So Schulzer is going to Hyrule Castle. It's about time for Hyrule Castle. We're about an hour in. From what I've heard, that's about normal.
Okay, so normally, in these kind of in these maps and these in these kind of seeds, you normally would want to wait until you have the mirror for the mirror offset that we were talking about before. And but in this case, since we have no mirror, we're gonna have to do do Friend of Escape without the mirror and without any way to route this in alongside Pyramid Fairy. If the mirror shows up, then it's pretty like it's a pretty obvious like Plando plans if you're playing this in the Plando. We actually saw that sometime back during the Plando, like I think just actually yesterday, somewhere around there.
Hey, our first sword.
And where it was Orange who placed the lamp in Zelda Cell, which means you'd have to do Pyramid Fairy separately.
But yeah, without that mirror, usually this is about when we see a Hyrule Castle dive. Hey, Golden Sword does one-shot ball and chain guard, so that's a nice bonus. I believe with the item layout, between the front and the back of Escape, we have confirmed a key in Dark Cross.
Yes, and that is true, and that means we don't have to worry about going into Dark Cross. We're going to Skull Woods, Pendant Skull Woods.
And we are seeing a trip directly back to Mothula. Well, I keep coming back to in my head is I believe climbing Ganon's tower is in play, but unless the key situation means we're not logically supposed to be able to go up the tower. And Schulzer does bring down the Moth, earning a red pendant, is going back in to look for the other item.
And I think this is fair because, I mean, we're still looking for that item anyway.
Yeah, Schulzer has not picked up the item yet. We know that the item is in the big chest. And Krelbel is going out of the tower the normal way. And we are getting a tower climb here. So if either our progression items is up here, that is a big find for Krelbel. That said, it is a time commitment to pick up your tower climb. But it's also one that would have to be taken at some point.
So how I usually consider the tower climbs is I usually it's usually time for me to think. What do I do next? And how am I going to execute? Like, what do I do next? Do I go so and so, or where and when?
And that's an understandable way to look at it too. Meanwhile, Schulzer is giving us our Smith chain checks. starting with the hammer picks. Oof, sword beams got a little bit in the way of that room. And a nice clean kill on Lanmos with an ice rod. Unfortunately, with no cane, we do have to do this room the hard way. The hard way being an earthquake over what looks like an empty pit, which is just a hilarious image. Alright, and our blacksmith check gives us the red cane.
The Samaria.
That is terrible.
Yeah, that required the mitts. That's go mode.
No, it is not. We still need a mirror.
Oh wait. Oh yeah, right, mirror. Duh. I got.
Don't worry.
Up from before because of the flip, the pennant.
Don't worry. I did the same thing.
Us too.
So
yeah, mirror for go mode.
Yeah, mirror is now go mode, which means we are guaranteed go mode swamp.
Which is nice. Yeah, always, no matter what you're playing, whether it's no major glitches or glitch or just with glitches, being able to go mode swamp is just satisfying as all heck.
Well, you open 2 to maybe 4 checks, because depending on if you're looking for a potential sword in the flooded room or anything. Because you get Argus, and you get the small key out of the front. Let's see what the other half of Mirrorless Smith Chain is, shall we? That's a joke. The flute is a convenience item if you find it early enough. An hour and 2 minutes in with 1 item from go mode is not early enough to make it useful. Because as we plainly saw earlier, we can get into Misery Mire without it. Professor, is this a clip that gets you onto the ledge with the... Ooh, that was a...
He missed it. I think so. I don't know. I've never seen this.
I think it was intended to be a clip up to the Dark World portal. Meanwhile, Krelbel is not getting good patterns out of Agatu today. I guess the flute does come in handy if you do need to get back to Misery Mire and don't want to just clip into it. the one piece of good news for this seed is, well, we did mention earlier that the mirror can go into Pyramid Fairy and be in an awful spot. It can't this seed. Because with the mirror blocking Swamp Palace, we can't get... It doesn't allow for mirror to be put there. Very fast Meyer 2 from Schulzer.
Really nicely done.
Krelbel did not do blacksmiths. He clipped to the... Krelbel clipped to hammer pegs, but he did not continue on to go pick up the smith. I believe he is making a play for Ice Palace here.
Of course it's a Godmire.
Why wouldn't it be a Godmire? We're
Because
still looking for something.
It feels... I mean, yeah, that's true, yeah. But then, like, it's like... In the one... Like, it's the case where... Out of all the times we want to see a Godmire, we don't get it. But especially when we're in Go mode. And then when we're not looking in Go mode, we get Godmire anyway. So Schulzer is actually going to just take advantage of the fact that this is a Godmire, and we're going to go see Vitrius.
The big thing about that is it lets us get the... It means we don't have to bother with one of the crystal switches. Because you can easily go back in and get the other items if you need to. And Schulzer's already shown he is extremely fast on... Meyer 2 already, so... And spooky action comes in handy, as it always does. And here's one of Link's Past's many eyeballs. Yeah, and with that, we can now go back in and easily get the items from the rest of the dungeon, provided we need them. Which, since we still need a mirror, we're going to be going back in to look for it. How does Krelbel set up an ice jump with this sprite?
The shadow. The shadow.
Yeah, it's just...
Generally, when you're doing the bomb jump, you're looking at the shadow, primarily.
Yeah.
That and you're
Primarily.
doing the spin clip.
I only ask, I personally can't use the shadow to judge the right spot. So... the sprite shuffler would absolutely throw me on that. The game is very much pointing us at cutscene chests right here.
Yeah, I think that's your only. Well, part of your only option, because you still have to do this room. That's our second item, I believe. Or is it? Is it? Or is that our first?
Based that Schultzer's going back in, we still have another go.
judging by the fact that we're seeing cutscene just now, tells me that this is the first.
Yeah, the sword is in the same spot with the sprite shuffler because it would impact the hitbox if it was moved. But all right, we got our second item. It was a piece of heart. So, unfortunately, you know what this points us at?
Desert or Turtle Rock?
Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Turtle Rock is pretty much the way you would want to go at this point. That, or at least what Schulzer is going to do is going to go into GT again. Looking, I guess, primarily to look at the right side.
I mean, he'll probably make use of the fact that he is here and do Aga2 as well. Alright, here's our compass room checks. So, Professor, if you're looking for one item and you're in GT anyways... Ooh, Krebel's... excuse me, Schulzer's setting up a death warp here. Just gotta be careful not to let that red hard hat beetle hit him.
Nothing there.
The question is, tile room? Looks like Schulzer is... Tile room would be a disaster is what it would be. But I haven't paid enough attention to keys. It could be a guaranteed key, and I'm not certain. So, where do you think Krelbel would go at this point?
In Krelbel's case...
Castle.
Okay, so the castle is fine, because you... I mean, at this... I feel like this is fine. You have not seen the mayor, you're probably thinking, oh, the mayor's probably in Highwind Castle. And I remember from the Plando exhibition that happened, that was exactly what happened. That caused Krelbel to get the beer pretty late.
There's several just one-off checks that are just looming right now. I mean, we've got... Hera Basement is still in play. And I keep coming back to that mushroom. I also am surprised that we haven't had anyone go finish Desert yet. Unless Desert is a dungeon item, in which case you just hope you get the mirror before you go to Mire.
Okay, sorry, I had to take care of something in the background, but Schulzer's now into Agate 2.
So I did miss that there's a powder on the the top of Ganon's tower. Yeah, powder was in Moldorm's last gift, Amarith.
Oh, I completely missed that. Oh yeah.
One krelbel went up as well, so.
Yeah, sorry, I got this. I had to deal with something, and then I got distracted by that and just didn't know what it was. So.
Oh hey, a Desert
Powder
Palace.
is a thing, I guess. Oh yeah, magic. Yeah, Desert Palace, because that's a crystal we can clear here.
And I don't remember if there's an item here or not.
Oh. I think so. If not, then well, we're gonna get a crystal anyway, so it won't. That's just a even if it's a crystal. If we find an item here, it's just it. Even if we don't find an item here, it's not really too bad. It's part of our goal anyway.
At the moment, I am hoping that we don't get a mirror off of Landmos. Because while it would make a smith chain easier, it would also send krelbel down the rabbit hole.
Oh. I just noticed what Schulzer's doing. Okay, so this one is... There's a lot of moving parts to this. What Schulzer is going to do is... Schulzer is going to attempt what's called the mirrorless laser bridge screen map. This is a very complicated glitch to do, and he messed it up. So...
As you can see, it's very complicated.
Yes. So what you're trying to do is to get on a specific position, have Link go in a specific position to get to screen wrap all the way to where Laser Bridge is at. There is a mirror version of it where you do use the mirror, but since we have no mirror, we have to use this. This is the best way to. Typically, this is the more better way of doing Turtle Rock. It's just going from Laser Bridge and working all the way back.
It's because, especially where we have the Ice Rod, it means we can clear it, and if we have to do Trinex, we do it. Technically, I think the draw here is you can check the Laser Bridge, hopefully get the big key early, kill Trinex if we have to, and then work our way forwards when we get warped to the entrance of Turtle Rock. So here is this kind of the tricky part. There's a lot of moving parts to this. You gotta either do a spin speed clip, or what Schulzer's gonna do, a boots clip.
So he's gonna dash turn right and then hop off, and then move himself in a right spot, and he has to quick hop. And if he doesn't, then this happens.
Ooh. Oh.
So,
Now
so this is actually so
That
what
was-
happened here was that he actually went over to Hookshot Cave.
And now we're going to just clip through and go into the big chest room.
So what Schulzer was doing was, for the most part, right. It was just that he didn't have the correct sub-pixel for this. So, because this one's it's very complicated. Typically, what I like to do for that is just do spin speed using the hookshot. You can fall off if you hold the down lap if you do down lap too early. That requires you to go back up again. As to set up on top of the walks on the to do the down teleports to get onto that platform. So to the bit of walk formation. But you're supposed to do I believe an up teleport from there, and then it's a down and then dash turn to the right, and then you do a teleport again, and then another down, and you gotta move to a specific part of the map, a specific pixel on the screen, and then move to the left. And then the only thing you cannot do is you cannot hop off at all. You cannot go. You cannot all go to the right. You have to quick hop afterwards. And if you set it up right, you should land in this. You should land on the bit of where the land bridge is at, and then you press left to fire the screen wrap, and then go up. You put yourself in laser bridge. Now there is some other things that can't. There are a lot of things that can go wrong here. There's Krelbel's game, by the way. For example, if you fall way forward into the void, then you messed it up. It's either due to a bad subpixel, or something else entirely. If you get stuck, you may have either didn't quick hop, or something else that happens. That's one of the more common things that can happen that cause the glitches to go horribly wrong.
I'm going to hazard a guess that due to its sheer complexity and its, by the sound of sub-pixel reliance, this is not a logical access to Turtle Rock.
This is actually in logic.
Really?
You're expected to know. Yes, you actually are. This, I believe, is in logic. You can either way to get into laser bridge. You can there's whether you do the mirror wrap or the mirrorless screen wrap. That's still considered in logic.
And Krelbel is taking the cane directly to Misery Mire.
I say that because I believe one of the Swamp Palace, or the Ice Palace clips is actually out, is going to be out of logic in the next update. From what I've heard, I think it's actually, I believe, the flipper wrap or the mirror wrap. I forget. One of those two.
The good news of opening Mire is that rain that glitches out when you clip into it is gone. We got a mirror. Mirror on laser bridge. We're in go mode.
Ugh, that's just okay. So if Schulzer had done the mirror wrap, had done the mirrorless screen wrap, he would have gotten the mirror by then. Unfortunately, Schulzer did not get it, and as a result, that you had to do the spin speed method, which is a lot safer, but it requires you to think a little bit more carefully about where you spend your keys on.
Hence, we saw him steal the Poke Key, go up and out to guarantee he had the keys. So now all Schulzer has to do is finish off Landmolo's, which is going to be very simple with Butter Sword and Half Magic. And go mode Swamp Palace. And of course, kill the pig. And we are getting into Swamp Palace. Yes, this is going to be a very quick jaunt into the swamp, because the only thing out there that could be helpful to us is silver arrows, and Schulzer does not need those silver arrows. Neither of these runners need silver arrows for this. I personally check Waterfall, I personally check the Flooded. I don't check Waterfall. But Schulzer is going to just straight go. We did see Diver down to walk on top of water. And Krelbel is going to be checking the right side of Ganna's tower.
Which is something that we've seen before. It would have to be... And eventually, Schulzer will be heading over to fight Ganon, because we did see also nice quick kill.
Nice quick finish. From here, Krelbel should be going to Turtle Rock, I would think, based on what is left in the seed. And Schulzer is ascending up the pyramid, and we will be having our first battle with the Big Pig himself.
Yeah, and this will be a pretty quick one, I'd imagine. Yeah, we don't have silver. We don't have silvers, but we have gold sword. Should make the first three phases pretty quickly.
Yeah, it'll be a quick enough fight. A runner of Schulzer's caliber knows how to fight Ganon. Will Krelbel get this clip?
This one, I know Krelbel has been practicing extensively. So this one should be... he's got it. He's got it.
Very nice.
Yep, there you go.
So that does save Krelbel several minutes, because Krelbel gets to walk in here, get the mirror off of, I think, the third chest, and save and quit and go to Swamp Palace. Meanwhile, Schulzer is doing Phase 4. Oh no! Our silvers are either in the big chest, the big key chest, or on Trinex.
Oh! Well, I mean, that's just not a good place for those silvers.
No,
Seriously?
it isn't. Again, a runner of Schulzer's caliber does not need silvers. And Krelbel is a solid runner in his own right.
But GG's to Schulzer. He's going to, as soon as he crosses the bridge, he will be claiming third place in the Overworld Glitches Mentor Tournament.
And GG to Schulzer, who I know will not be... We don't have an interview with Schulzer because Schulzer is in Europe, and it is currently morning. Like, early in the morning there. So now we just get to see Krelbel finish out the seed. Because with only Argus and Ganon left, there is not much left on Krelbel's side either.
So at least Krelbel is about to finish the seed out. I'll say for certain he probably will be finishing here. Just gonna clear out Swamp Palace. That's the only thing he really needs to clear. We're going to GT, Ganon, kill the pig, and we are good.
Yeah, and again, the one good side of the seed so far was we got the greatest possible go mode dungeon. And Schulzer is giving us the fast forward to the stats. We had 20 rupees on the pedestal today. For a moment, I thought we were about to have Mir on pedestal.
I mean, it was likely. It was likely.
And 163 in game 130.50. That's a pretty. That's a lot of checks in that amount of time for one. But that's
definitely.
That's a pretty solid time for this kind of seed.
And to make sure they got the times right, I just popped open the race time. Schulzer would have had already. Of course, this was a podcast, so this happened about a week ago. But Schulzer would finish first with the official race time of 1:33:02.
Wonderful. Keep that open so I can ask you about krelbels when he finishes on stream.
Yeah, I already have it up.
And with that, krelbel has 7 crystals and will be going to fight the pig now as well.
So here, krelbel, so this will fight the pig. Yeah, this will be nice. So tomorrow, I hope you guys are excited for this. We're about to wrap up the mentor tournament a bit once and for all. With the 5 through 8 race, we're gonna be racing to see who is gonna get 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th in the tournament. I will be racing, of course, because I was among the top 8.
And then the others are
Adalor, Mentu, Minius, Cartridge, and Krethel.
Yeah. So that'll be an exciting race as well, which hopefully we get a restream on.
Yeah, if you liked what you see, definitely check out the Goma podcast. Join us in the Goma podcast Discord. Definitely check out the Goma podcast itself. It's a very nice resource going into all things rando. Also, it's a nice teaching grounds for learning new things about the randomizer, not just in Overworld Glitches or just glitches in general, but also just stuff relating to unmentored glitches as well.
Yeah, Goma Pocket's a very good source, and we are on phase 3 on this Ganon fight already. Butter Sword cuts through Ganon like, well, a hot knife through butter.
A hot knife through butter.
And our restream has confirmed there is a restream tomorrow for the 5 to 8 match. So, thank you, Amarith, in advance for that.
Yeah, I do want to shout out all of our comms, our trackers, and also our restreamers. Seriously, our restreamers were killing it this year. With the mentor tournament. It was honestly, I mean, I was really excited for when I heard about the mentor tournaments, the Overworld Glitches Mentor Tournament happening, just because I really wanted to learn glitches. And this was at a time when I was just not in a good state of mind when it came to no glitches. I was just burnt out of no glitches. And I took a break. And Overworld Glitches, or just in glitches in general, was just the light that I needed in my... just the light that I needed to get myself back into the debate dance.
Yeah. A lot of runners... Overworld Glitches is a good way to rejuvenate the game. Because even though Rando does change the game and make it fresh, Glitches puts a whole new spin on it.
For sure. GG's in the chat for krelbel, and he will be finishing this off as well. He will be taking 4th place. And he had already finished with a official race time of 1:39:08. And this was already recorded. Schulzer, just to add a bit more stats to this, Schulzer had got 80 points from that race, while krelbel had lost only 6. And this is on the Overworld Glitches pool, the Overworld Glitches leaderboard.
Yeah, this race was fantastic to watch.
It was a great race. And again, just congratulations to Schulzer for taking 3rd place, and again, also congratulations to krelbel for taking 4th place. Both runners were absolutely good. They're absolutely good. They're some of the best of the best, and it's no wonder why they actually made quite a big run during the league. OK Game ended up being, I think, like what, 4th in that pool, and they're already advanced to they've already advanced to the invite league.
Yeah, OK Game,
because they're top 4.
OK Game is in top 4. Schulzer is invitational, and his team made top 2. They are the runner-up team.
Yeah, it was Fens and the Drifters who took the entirety of the invite league, while Oops is not there either, or Upster something or another.
Oops, du warst nicht, I believe.
yeah. That I don't speak German. They took the runner-up spot.
Wait, what?
No, sorry. I'm sorry. They won the Open League. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. The runner-up for the Open League was actually the team of one of our finalists for this men's tournament.
Don
Venier's team, Boomer Friendly. I would say OK Boomer because I was
they were the runner-ups.
In the league.
Not Oops is not there either. So apologies for that.
But with that said, this race has come to its conclusion for us.
Yeah.
So
again, please tune in for tomorrow. The 5 through 8 tournament is going. The 5 through 8 race is going to happen at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be myself, Adalor, MM2, NES Cartridge, and Krithel going to be competing to finalize the results of the top 8.
That's in addition. Follow the runners here. Follow both Schulzer and krelbel. The work they've put in for getting this far in the tournament and give us a show here is immense. Yeah,
top 4. Both players being in top 4 is just a testament to how good these runners are, even in a new and exciting world like Overworld Glitches and glitch modes in general.
In addition, shoutouts to Amarith, who both tracked this race for us despite how hectic this seed type can get, as well as managed the restream side of it. Give her a follow as well. And shoutouts to Professor Renderer, my co-com today. Another great competitor in this tournament. And just a blast to work with. So thank you, Professor. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for putting up. Also, thank you for putting up for the bit of a pause that I had. I had to deal with some stuff outside of randomizer yeah. Luckily for me, you left during dungeons. I can do dungeons. Yeah, I am not a glitch runner. Yeah, again, I totally apologize for that one. I probably should have just jumped in to help you as well. Like I said, you left during dungeons, and I can handle dungeons. I know dungeon logic doesn't change that much. Yeah, because it's Overworld Glitches. It doesn't really change unless you're playing hybrid major glitches, which is something that was built, was born from this tournament alone. It's Overworld Glitches, but with 4 extra underworld glitches that you could do to spice up the underworld a bit, and the logic does change somewhat. In addition to following the runners, our tracker, and my co-com, make sure to follow Go Mode Podcast. And if you want to get in on this kind of thing, join the Discord. There's races happening all the time here. Yeah, and maybe if you there is also the Wednesday Overworld Glitches Weekly. It's a really nice place if you really want to learn how to do Overworld Glitches, and actually if you think this was interesting, of course join Discord. We can totally help you when it comes to learning about the insane world that is
glitched modes.
But other than that, I think we want to just let krelbel's credits roll here for a minute, so we can see the final stats there. And then I think we're getting close to a wrap here, Professor.
Yeah. I guess I could take this time to just reflect on this tournament and what it means to me.
Since we don't have Schulzer or krelbel, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, like I said, the mentor tournament, this mentor tournament was something special to me. Again, I was in a very bad state of mind when I was in a really bad state mentally, because I was just straight up burnt out from glitches, like from doing no major glitches, and this was still when I was still in college, and I was having a pretty bad time in college then. I am still in college, but I transferred schools. Once I heard about the mentor tournament, this was when I took a break, and I actually had to leave my team of Orange and Cauliflower, Barely Full Palms. And I just was not happy, and it was amounted to the fact that I was also playing the Planto tournament, and that really just messed me up. And after some time, I heard about the Overworld Glitches tournament being kicked up, and I'm like, well, maybe I could take a look at this, see how it looks like. Maybe just to get myself back into the swing of things with Rando. And once I started playing, once I joined the first week of boot camp, I was really having a good time. Once the Swiss once I was part of the tournament, and it was us, we had Swisses, or we had like Swiss rounds. I really got down. I really got down with it. I really had a good time. And by the time we went to brackets, I was not expecting to make it to top 8. I was expecting to get knocked out in the first round. But just the fact that I was able to beat one of my opponents, even if krelbel had eventually defeated me in the end, I still had a really good time. And this goes to show how much I love glitch modes. If it wasn't for this tournament, I would not be here right now talking about this.
That's a pretty good impact. So I don't have anything to say about tournament. I wasn't a runner, and I didn't really help out with the tournament too much until semifinals when Malmo came to ask for a hand. So, and hey, I'm good on a microphone, and I can ask questions to you guys very, very well.
Yeah, and I just want to say this before we wrap up. Very special shout-outs to Malmo and Orange. They are probably they are one of our admins, and I am forever indebted for their contributions.
Yeah, the amount of work Malmo, Orange, and the other OWG admins for this put in, they organized this, and most of them were involved in the mentoring process too, weren't they not?
They were one of our mentors.
So, and it got people interested in this mode. So, a huge shout out and thank you to the admins of this tournament.
Yeah, thank you very much. 16 new runners to feed the life of glitch modes. Anyway,
and another thank you to Amarith.
Too long.
Another thank you to Amarith for going and finding their Twitch channel links to shout them out here as well. So, with that, Professor, I think we're done here.
We're done here. Yes, we are done.
So, with a final good night from us, have a good night.
Take it easy, everybody.